Hey everybody, Kaoiji here. So Sega has been very communicative recently, and I'm kind of going to make 2 points here. They've been doing this for basically all of June and parts of the previous month, mainly because Hito and I has been away from the headline streams, making him unable to do the operation report, and he's kind of in charge of that. So Sega has been taking to the official Discord and the Rapikomu Twitter page to be able to, get that information out to players. Now, they've been answering a lot more questions this way than it's ever been in the operation report. And that's kind of interesting. But first, let's go over some of the questions, some of the key highlights here that I think a lot of people kind of should know, because they are listening. They are taking the feedback. It is taking some time for them to actually, be available within the game and actually, make it so that way, hey, they care. That's showing that they care. But anyway, let's go. So one of the first things is what happened recently, and I'm going to make it bigger for you guys because I already took a screenshot. Please make it possible to carry the enhancement status of material weapons as we can in base PSO2 in cases where we use weapons as materials to exchange for other weapons. And they have already responded to this with a very favorable, solution here. They said, we've received this question, there was this request from many players. In future releases of weapons that are obtainable by exchanging items, we will make it so that way the enhancement status of the original weapon is transferred to the target weapon if a weapon is included in the list of required items. Now, I've seen a lot of people talk about this. It's like, well, then make this available for the Kaoiji series weapons. And while they can, a lot of people have already been trading in their Rock series weapons for this. So it is a development nightmare to either roll back or like add some sort of compensation here. It's easier for them as a development team to not waste time and just add it for future weapons going forward, right? This isn't me being like, oh my God, Sega, yeah, you're doing it. No, I understand the pain. I would like it so that way my Kaoiji series weapons were available the way that, I would want them to, because I kind of want to use the rocks until I get my Kaoiji. You see what I mean? It's still a nightmare in some way. And I'd rather them focus on creating content than having to go back and fix their mistakes, because that's, a lot of development time that they'd wind up losing. They said in question number 2, please create more opportunities to get Blizzardium. We plan to increase the ways that players can get Blizzardium, such as via future seasonal events and etc. Now, this is something that I kind of don't really care for, because seasonal events don't exactly come very often unless there's going to be new content updates that also are associated with a seasonal event. The next seasonal event that I'm aware of is next month, such as July. Hello? We gotta wait till July? This is like another 2 weeks for this. By then, I should be done with my Kaoiji farming. It's kind of a pain. I'll be playing Monster Hunter Sunbreak during that time. So it's, you know what I mean? Anyway, what I would like them to do with Blizzardium is actually implement it within like a maybe small drop chance within the Raged Gorge, because that's something to where I'm already farming the Raged Gorge for my icicle cubes when I'm fighting an ancient enemy, but largely the rest of the zone is ultimately useless because they don't necessarily drop anything. Having Blizzardiums be able to drop there, or maybe some sort of other item that is worth farming that makes me want to go back and actually use the augments or even the weapons that I had to grind that area for, that would be very worth it, making that area much more profitable in the long term, because ultimately, once you get your Kaoiji series weapon, unless you're farming more ancients for the souls or even for more icicle cubes, you're never going back there ever. Not even for the augments. Now, the next thing they said is, please do not make equalizing enemies or captains part of task requirements. I agree with this wholeheartedly. Rare enemies should never be a part of it. And they said, we're planning on excluding equalizing enemies and captain from the requirements for future tasks and improving overall gameplay for all arcs. I would 100% like to go on the record and say, never add that unless it's an event. Unless it's an event, do not add those tasks as a part of standard gameplay, right? For any rare enemy now and for the future, because it's just, they're meant to be rare enemies that alter, like, you're like, oh shit, that enemy just spawned, I have to take care of that. That's how that's meant to be, or a gameplay mechanic like they were in the Trinitas, or the Geometric Labyrinth, as much more people are probably more familiar with that name. Don't include that. Don't include that in anything, because it's a very weird development choice to be able to be like, all right, let's do that. You get what I mean? Am I making sense here? I would hope I am. Now, there are a couple other things that they wound up talking about in the previous days in June here, where they were like, hey, we want the extra storage that Japan gets upon meeting certain requirements. Those certain requirements are their one-time password. And they do have the plans and already have the data set aside for that, but they just need to create the new flag for that and, make sure that everything works, it's beta tested and all that, and it should be fine. They then said that people were talking about bringing back the party beacon so players can easily tell the current status of a party through visuals alone. They say since the additional objects in the open field, such as a beacon, could potentially cause performance issues for players. Again, this is probably due to the particle effects, especially the way that NGS handles them, as well as complicate management of data packets for us. I'm afraid it would be difficult to address this immediately for the time being. However, we do plan to consider other improvements for party recruitment, such as additional ability to party matchmake with those in the same room, added in a recent update. Really good stuff. I'm glad that they started adding that, making it easier to party up. They then talked about, how, recruitment spam is a thing. So that would help solve that once they're able to do that. They are adding in the login display time for Alliance members. This will be set between 1 to 180 days. The Alliance leader sets this. And if you're gone for 1 to 180 days, depending on how the Alliance leader has that set, then it will show the last time they logged in. Good stuff there for the most part. Countdown timers for trigger quests take forever, discouraging replay play. I agree with this. What I would actually like them to do is once we go into a trigger quest specifically, just allow me to start the mission. Just have it like a toggle to where press E, all players press E and then it just gets to start. So that way there's a confirmation there. I'm not sure how that's going to be able to be done on a development standpoint, but that's what I would personally like. They then also speak about make damage numbers for critical hits stand out more. Before anybody does that, make damage numbers available as a setting in New Genesis and not just base PSO2, kind of a thing. They also go to say that special scratch tickets, are they going to be updated? They're going to be updated every 2 to 3 months in the future. This has not been the case so far, but it will be. So that's a good thing. And they do have a lot of communication here in this Discord, and it looks like they're going to be adding more. But the overall goal of this, not just to give you guys that information and say, hey, join the official Discord. And even if you don't, I should be making videos on these things more often, as they come out. The most important thing that I need to say here, and this is like I hope the community agrees with me here. Sega should continue to do this even when the headline stream is active, because there are a lot of questions that don't make it into the operational report, and having that line of communication is very good, regardless of whether it comes from the headline stream, because not everybody's going to watch that. Not everybody's going to be looking towards the Twitter. Not everybody's going to be looking towards the Discord. So having this information available on every source, the headline stream, the official website, Twitter, their Discord, having more information is not a bad thing. And I would like them to continue responding to the general feedback that they want up getting from players, because this is a good thing. It shows that they are caring and they are putting in the effort. And this is something that I've been talking about for quite a while, that Sega needs to amp up their communication. And with Hiro and I not being available for the NGS headline, they've done that. They've done that tenfold. And I love the Operation Report segment. The Operation Report segment for the NGS headline, but I've always felt like it's a little bit lackluster because they are on a time constraint for that particular, web show. And it's also only once a month. Whereas in this time, we've seen 6 different days where they've communicated to us answers and questions that we've had. So as opposed to having one day where they can only answer maybe 2 or 3 questions, because of the time constraint, having more days a week and more questions being answered, that's a very good thing. And I hope they continue to do that. And again, no fault to Hiro Wadai here. Just putting that out there. I love the operation report, but please continue to have the development team, or, again, maybe keep asking the development team to have this open level of communication, because it is a very, very good thing and it's very fun. But anyway, I wanted to get that information out to you guys because a lot of that's very important, especially when it comes to the future weapons that we're going to be getting, the Blizzardium, because those are currently, relevant right now, equalizing enemies and captains, and then all of the other quality of life improvements that are not available in the game right now. Those are things that I feel like, you know, we should keep on talking about. And it looks like they are listening. They are taking the feedback, and that's very good. But anyway, guys, thank you guys again for watching. This video is mostly unedited, so yeah, sorry for all that. I'm gonna go to bed now, I think, because it's like 8 o'clock in the morning, I think. Yeah, anyway, thank you guys again for watching. Stay awesome, stay beautiful. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. I'm out.